Tips and Reviews with JG. Appreciate y'all for being live with me. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you're having a great day. Probably wait for a few people to come in to really get into this conversation about music, about the sonics of music. Talking about the sound and the soundscape. As far as music. The music platform these days. How um, just the sounds. People how engineers mix these days. It promotes a lot of uh dark sounding uh sonics. The way it sounds, as far as using like lo-fi uh mixing and stuff like that. But I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna get more deep into it. I'm gonna wait till some people come in and really get into what I'm really talking about as far as music these days, because I feel like we all know that music reflects society, you know or society is reflected from music. uh I see a lot of things now working in the school system, and how music affects these kids. It's not just saying gangster music. It's I feel like explicit content, really graphic content, not just sex, but violence. Talking about death and stuff like that, and I feel like the sonics as well has affected that as well. Thinking from being a music theorist, uh, it's a lot of things that I hear on the radio as far as being a music theory. How you doing, your local Oreo eater? New sub, how you doing? But looking at the soundscape of music these days, uh, compared to the 1990s. Uh, how you doing, Lacey? How you doing, Ashley Reed? Uh, Compare the soundscape of you know the 1990s and stuff like that. You hear how dark music is these days. Sonics. Back then they used a lot of major chords. They use a lot of, how you doing, Raina? Uh, they use a lot of major chords as far as even bridges, even verses, and I feel like the transitions as far as in music, uh, it promotes a lot of dark sounding things. Appreciate you, your local Oreo eater. Say I might be watching your vids every day. Cool, appreciate it. And let me know if y'all can hear me. Let me know if y'all can hear me well up here. But y'all let me know what y'all think about the music soundscape these days. I think um, a lot of the sounds of today promotes a lot of uh, darkness, a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety. uh, you said I never talked to a YouTuber before. Well, I'm glad I'm the first one. I'm glad I'm the first one. But think about, if you're from, think about if you're from like, you're a millennial and older. Uh, I wouldn't say so much. Appreciate you for sending a gift, Cubics. Appreciate you, Cubics. But say you're from the 1990s. You lived in the 1990s. You was a young kid. I say a young child during the 1990s. You know, you hear bright music. You hear Tony Braxton. You hear uh, so much great music. Luther Vandross. Even though some songs were more serious than other songs, it still had a brightness to it. And I think the way people mix these days, it brings forth a certain darkness. Uh, if you think of like from an engineer standpoint, they talk about, uh, they turn the lows, they turn the highs off and turn the lows up, and it has this type of filter effect. And I feel like a lot of the songs now got that filter effect, and it kind of promotes a lot of darkness as far as the sonics of music. Uh, you know, a lot of hip hop producers, they use FL Studio, and they use a lot of those certain plugins when they creating, trap beats, they creating hip hop beats. Uh, but again, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Uh, tuning in. You doing any genre or just hip hop? I think all different. I think different. I think different. I think different genres promotes that to me. That's why I mentioned like Tony Braxton, and I mentioned a lot of the '90s artists. That came out. The music wasn't as dark as it is now. Now you got like Rod Wave. You got so many. These R&B artists. That sings R&B, but a lot of it sounds dark. You know, a lot of the subject matter that goes straight to sex instead of talking about romance. Having a candlelight dinner, having just having a good time, going out. It's not. It's not talking about the right thing. And also, send me a super chat if you want to send me a super chat with you talking about this subject. Feel free, send me a super chat if you want to support this channel. If you have anything to say about what I just talked about as far as the sonics, I feel like it's too much dark sonics in music, sonically. But again, appreciate y'all for being in here. Appreciate y'all for being in here. But yeah, that's what I want to talk about, as far as uh music these days. I feel like it needs to be a balance. I think we get into it, but the way production is digital, instead of analog these days, you know, people do all types of experimentation with music, and I think we need to just get back to the authenticity. Uh, you know, work back, with the authenticity of music, the way music used to be created. You know, but again, appreciate y'all for being in here. Appreciate y'all. Like I said, if you want to contribute to this conversation, feel free to. If not, I don't really, if you're just talking about anything, you know, let's stick to the subject as far as what I'm talking about, as far as music, as far as the sound of music these days. Do you think music sound more dark these days? Yes or no? Does it sound more dark as far as how it feels, when you listen to it? You know, I feel like, like I said, a lot of songs that's meant to be bright is still dark these days because of the sonics or the engineers ear, as far as engineering, and so that's what I want to talk about tonight. If you watch this later, feel free to leave a comment on this conversation. But again, appreciate y'all for watching. All right, peace.